My name is Deborah Wilson, and this is the special occasion speech. Anne Boleyn was a commoner of England and slowly raised herself to being a queen with her intense knowledge of the world and conniving nature. She was loyal to family and friends and gave more to the poor than anyone before her in just 3 years. No one knows much about her, even though she was the second wife of King Henry VIII. She is the most influential queen England ever saw and did more for the country than even Henry himself. She did 3 main things before she was beheaded that changed England forever. King Henry VIII was married to Catherine of Aragon when he first met Anne Boleyn. Anne Boleyn was not considered a beautiful woman from that time, but she had a new exotic beauty of olive skin, dark hair, and dark eyes that captivated King Henry VIII. King Henry was considered a handsome king, but had many mistresses in his time. He had many bastard children with mistresses, but only one true heir with his first wife, Catherine of Aragon, which was a girl. He knew in order to keep his country from entering a civil war upon his death, he would need to produce a male heir. Anne Boleyn was thought to be another mistress for the king, but was the only mistress who turned him down and tried to avoid him. She would not let him sexually have her, and said she would not until they were married because of her morals and values. Because of this, Henry started his pursuit in getting a divorce from Catherine of Aragon, which was never heard of. It took a long time, but he finally accomplished his divorce. Anne Boleyn was the first woman to be married to a divorced man in the 1500s. Not only did she start the trend of divorces, but she also instigated the separation from the Roman Catholic Church. In order to get divorced from Catherine of Aragon, he had to get permission from the Pope, who was a close family friend to Catherine. Knowing that he would not get the permission he needed, he listened to Anne and decided to separate from the Roman Catholic Church to head his own church that specialized in the Protestant religion. He got all his ideas from Anne, which made her unpopular with the public, who still favored the Roman Catholic Church's religion and Catherine of Aragon. After he became head of his church, he was able to make any decisions he wanted. He divorced Catherine of Aragon and married Anne Boleyn. He was once again looking for a male heir. When Anne could not produce a male heir, only a female heir, he started to pursue other women, especially a woman in her line of waiting who would later become his next wife. Anne had many miscarriages, and Henry was getting worried that he would not get his male heir, so he came up with ludicrous charges against Anne so that he could divorce her and move on to another wife. Anne was beheaded after Henry divorced her, and all that was left of her was her daughter, Elizabeth I, who would one day become Queen of England. Anne may have died, but she left behind a daughter who would become the strongest ruler England ever saw. Anne only reigned for 3 years, but her daughter ruled for 40 and without a husband. Anne only got 3.5 years with her daughter, but she was raised as the princess she was supposed to be, even though her mother was dead. Anne influenced her daughter not to have a husband because of the persecution she saw through history her mother went through with not having a male heir. Anne Boleyn was one of the most influential people England saw even after her death. Even though she only reigned for 3 years, she influenced the start of divorces, the separation from the Roman Catholic Church, and gave birth to the best ruler England ever saw. She was a commoner, but with her many skills, she became higher in standing than any woman had at that time. She acquired land that a woman never would have been able to without marriage, and was brave even in her death. This woman changed England forever and is influential to me because of her amazing attributes and strong demeanor.